Well, once again, it's time, my friends, for another meet and greet. We're Southern Fried and nationwide, so hang on to your seat. Look around, here's what I found. I guess you'll never know what you'll see on the Southern Fried Podcast Show. Yeehaw!
And happy Thursday. Hope everybody's doing well. Getting towards the end of the work week. Let me get this set where I want it, and we'll be good to go. Well, it is Thursday, as I said, getting towards the end of the work week. Um, I've seen Rob's video for going and voting. I hope we get that loaded up today. And hello, Lewis. How are you this morning, my friend? We hope well. It is early. I've got the cup of coffee going and a few other things ready to kick the day off and get going really good and strong today. I have a meeting tonight with my friend Paul. So sorry, I'm trying to find a couple things that I need to have in my possession today as I go to work. And there's one, election schedule. So that's important. How are things in your area, Lewis? It's good to have you in this morning for however long you're here. And happy Thursday. I've seen a lot of people gave Rob his happy birthdays yesterday. That's good. I appreciate that. Making sure that we celebrate those things and those anniversaries is always important. And it's nice to be remembered at least once a year. somebody remembers that you had a birthday, even though we act like we don't like it. We're getting older. In reality, we are appreciative, and we do like that. Well, we were had our program last night, and I'm sorry that we had a little bit of echoing going on with me and Rob, at least during the first part. That was just kind of backfeeding through our guest's situation, his mic and everything. But really just wanted him to talk, and we're so excited. That's going to be a great association we have with Three Ravens Publishing. It doesn't matter if you like that genre or anything. I think most of their stuff, some people say, I'm not reading sci-fi or whatever, but most of their stuff I think has just a humorous, a lot of it, not all of it, but a lot of it has a humorous slant, and I just think it's funny, so it's the artwork is amazing, and I'm going to try to get there today and order the ebook for the Trailer Park series. I have to give you my review, but he's an interesting character, and just a good guy. Like I said, we're radically different, and that's what I like. I like meeting people where they are and where I am, and building bridges. There's things that we're a lot alike in. He's a father, and he works, and he has his hobby is passion, and we're doing the same thing. So we connect in that. He's local. I can appreciate the work, from West Virginia and coal country, and I just get all of that. I didn't serve per se in the military. I was there for a short time. I had to come out, but I don't claim it because it wasn't there long enough to claim it, and so I don't really mention it. But I do have a little bit of a connection, and I'm a great supporter of the military, and I appreciate his service, um, and I just think it's neat. You meet people in your life, and they're different, and we can all unify on things. I think that's the greatness of America. I really do. Is that we truly are the melting pot, whether you were born here or you came here, um, you know, as a recent immigrant or on a student visa or whatever it is. And we still need to have all those things. I think sometimes when we say close the border, we're talking about like we're never letting another person in. That's not true, and that's not good for us. We need to have legal immigration. I think most people understand that. We're not overcrowded. People say we are. There's vast stretches of America that has hardly nothing, nobody. We have room. There are some areas that may be very crowded, like a New York or something. But people bring in their talents and stuff into the nation and making us a better country. That's what it's always been about. So I think that we hit on all those. I have a great respect for people that pursue passion, their hobby, passion, their dreams. We talk about the American dream, and it doesn't mean that you're going to become a podcaster or an author or a publisher. It may just, I was listening to some people at work, and it's just amazed me what you learn about people and people that I know that I work with who have a business on the side, and it's just booming. And at one point, like he was saying last night, it's getting to a point where he's going to have to make a decision about the day job at some point. And I think I've got friends in that same situation now. I'm not sure that I would ever be there, but that's not the point. The point is that they're pursuing their passion has become, and I talked to him offline, that it started out as, this thing that he was doing, and the next thing he knows, it's just exploded. And that's what he was sort of getting to last night. It's sort of a continuation of that story where he's going all over the country, speaking different places. He's connected up, networked, and he's right. The Discord channel for Three Ravens is very active, and I did mute it some because it was just constant. But that's great, and I think it's great that the meeting and having those meetings. I hope that some of the people connected to the publishing came in. I know when we put out the advertisement for it on the streams, it got a lot of attention, and we put it out everywhere we could possibly put it out. And I think that there was a lot of people that probably did, and I hope they got something out of it. I'll hold those pictures, and we'll support him. And that's what we told him is you can come back at any time and be a part. I do want to apologize, and we are working on. We got some great folks that come into our evening chats. There really are. Sometimes they've gotten out of hand, and we've tried to work with that. Rob was really dealing with it last night. We don't have a mod. We'll get there soon, hopefully. We're doing double duty, and it's almost the point where one of us is working the chat and one of us is really talking because it is so active. But if they've said something out of the way what Rob did, and I have before, timed out and even banned some. I think the ban's going to be lifted today by Rob on some. We just ask him to straighten that up. We love the joking around and cutting up in the chat. Some things we're not going to put on the screen, obviously, but they've just took it to a new level, and not all, some. And so anyway, if you close the chat if you need to and just listen to us. We're working on that. We're not going to put up with things, attacks and people like that. Cutting up's one thing, but come on, don't be personal. That's just something, that just shows our growth and where we're going, and we've got people that's coming. But we want them, if you really care about the podcast, you wouldn't come in and do that. So, you got to have some rules, right? On the school bus. Oh man, I was watching some of the videos yesterday, just news from the politics, and I was thinking of this. How people are childish in politics sometimes, and we certainly see that. Well, you find it at all levels, but we are what is it's this is the 24th, right? Let me look at 24th, and this is just amazing what we're seeing. And I was saying last night about the campaigns, and Kamala's is I mean, they're not totally burning her down on the leftist media, but they are taking her to task real hard. I think that it's played real thin with them, this whole duck and dodge, not answering questions, not showing up, not being out there more visible. And so they're not seeing what they want to see, and it's really starting to flow back on them. Another bit of news yesterday, I saw this, that Warren Buffett, which owns my company, of course, that organization that he's the chairman of, he's decided not to back a candidate. In other words, he's not going to pick a side, which I don't really care anyway. To be honest, I could care less who some billionaire or even somebody says I'm support. It doesn't really sway me, but the media likes to jump on that because these are people that they hold a lot of opinions. People watch what they do, everything they do, because they're very successful in their business and they're known worldwide. I get that. You get to a celebrity status because of entertainment or business or whatever. people are wanting to know. But he says there's been some fraudulent claims online of who he's backing. He said he's not publicly backing anyone, which I think that's, come on, play in the middle. Just say, it's your vote. I'm not saying he has to say he's voting for, but I would just say that I didn't say that, and I've not said who I'm backing. I think, but sometimes people come out with these things about. He says he's not going to say that, which he has a right to do that. But sometimes I wonder about that. Is that a backward messaging toward a party? I don't know, but um, I'm not sure that I like that. If you take a side, I mean, come on, everybody. Nobody plays the middle constantly. You're definitely taking a side when you um, when you say you're not taking sides. You really are. You have an opinion. Everybody has an opinion, unless you're not voting, which I'm sure he will vote. Um, that you're going to pick somebody, and it might be the third or fourth or fifth candidate. Say you're voting for them. I just thought that was interesting. I didn't realize he was Warren Buffett is, what did it say, 94? Wow, what a long life. I certainly don't agree with everything that he's done, but I do admire him for the fact that he really keeps that small town part of him. Um, he he's not really out. He's not out there in the you know the $1 billion mansion. The estate, the posse, and he lives well, but he doesn't live loud, and I respect that. Um, Shows a humility, and I think that's it keeps you grounded when you do that, because when you get caught up into trying to be the latest, then you always have to up that, because somebody's going to come along and they're going to up their game, be bigger, and then you got to go bigger. That's a sad game to get into, really, and what a waste of time and effort and money to do such things. It's ego. Obviously, it's driven by vanity and ego, and it tells me a lot about a person when they can control their flesh and say, I've got a lot of money, but I'm not gonna live like that. Some of the people I've known in my life, people thought they didn't have no money. They had a lot of money, but they didn't flash that. They just lived their life, helped people, and not publicly. They helped them behind the scenes, and made sure that they were wise with their money. But they were very wealthy. A lot of people didn't even know that. You know, I think with Donald Trump, I mean, everybody knows he has money, and he's lived loud at times, sure. But at the same time, he has this unique ability to connect with the everyday person, man, woman, boy, or girl, from every geographical, demographic background that you can think of. He can connect, and I think that's very powerful, um, because people connect to people, and they feel like they know each other, and it's really this amazing thing where you feel like they know you even though they don't know you, but you're connected that way. And I think he has that ability. I said way back in 2016, one of the reasons, and I certainly am not an expert, but one of the reasons I think that Donald Trump really resonated, and I have to be honest, he really surprised me. I really thought that he was running just for the recognition of it, and hey, why not? And I really thought he would drop out in the primary. I really thought people wouldn't even choose him later on. I underestimated his ability to connect, and how bad some of the other candidates were not able to connect with the electorate, with voters. Uh, and then he kept hanging around and hanging around, and you're like, wow, okay, this is now a serious campaign. For him, it always was. I didn't know that it was at the time, but I think one of the reasons, I think there's multiple reasons, but I think one of the reasons he really resonated at that time, yes, the business part, people had gotten tired of this idea of politician. They wanted somebody who was not a politician, but was a businessman. And so that was way back when people were looking at Ross Perot. Good morning, Cook. Way back, they were looking at him because of the same thing. Well, he's a businessman, he's successful. he didn't have the charisma and the ability to resonate as Donald Trump has and did at that time. Another reason I think that they really connected with him was because he does have that. He does have that little bit of it. I guess you would call it that New York vibe. That you know, he's bad boy Leroy Brown on the block. He's not going to back down. And yes, the mean tweets and all that. There were people that really liked that he was not backing down from some of these people. One of the very first things I remember was him telling CNN to sit down, and people got mad at that. But he said, look, you're bad news reporter." And when he did those things, it resonated with some people because they said, he's speaking for me. I am sick and tired of the way that I'm talked to in this country and the way that things are forced down my throat. And he became that. He became that. Call it the bully on the playground, so to speak, in a good kind of way. That you stand up for somebody, like he's standing up against the bullies. Like, okay, he's got the same qualities, but he's standing up for me. And it allowed people to have a voice, and a very loud voice. And he is comical. I mean, he can be very funny when he wants to be. Like I said, he's got a very charismatic personality, but he can go from very serious. He can cut up. His humor sometimes is totally misunderstood, or probably purposely. When he jokes around, the media, they just love to rip those things up and try to clip the thing apart and make it sound like he's stupid. And he said some things that were not, they were not very good in the way that he relayed them. And we all have those moments, but he has. But some of those he was just joking. He was just joking. You have to read. That's why I say humor is, you have to be careful with it. But even in that, I mean, I think one of his greatest skills, besides being able to connect like that, is that look. He has a look that you can know exactly what he's thinking. And you don't have to say the words. And he's gotten better at closing the mouth and letting his looks speak for him. And they're effective. They're very effective. And sometimes they're very comical. I mean, the looks he gave in the debate, people talked about that a lot. Body language is important. His body language just exudes confidence. I'm not backing down. And you can say about me what you want to say about me. You can throw at me everything, and they have, not backing down. They're not used to somebody like that because most people would have just counted their losses, said, hey, I was president for 4 years. I'm moving on. He's like, no, I've got 4 years left laying on the table. And I'm sure he thought about it. I mean, who wouldn't? His age and the success he has. But he knows he cannot, because if he goes away like that, it's like he ran away. He has to stand up, and it's personal. And I think it's personal for his family. And they want to go out on their terms. And the law will say one more term. And if he could get that, then, he's now created this MAGA movement, and that will be something that will post presidency, if he does have another term, or even now, it will continue to be that. And he will be able to influence, and that movement, it won't just end with him. That movement is now an established movement in America, whether you like it or hate it. It is powerful. We're doing their MAGA Minute on the podcast. Those are some of the most watched videos that we have. They're very short, which people like. They can flip through them. Sometimes they don't watch them all, but they get the gist of it. And I have had more follows and more comments, positive, hardly any negative. And granted, it's a conservative crowd, but anything we've done, that and our devotions are two of the most watched, liked, shared, followed, you name it, things we have. So it is powerful. We're always looking at new content and adjusting content. And that was an idea that I came up with. And I thought, during this election season, I need something that kind of winds down towards the election. But then as I started, I thought I just had the idea of doing it till the election. And I thought, this is something we need to keep going because it's a very quick thought. And MAGA doesn't start and end with Donald. He did start it, I believe. I don't know that he actually started it. that phrase just resonated with people, and the movement got started. You can't start a movement by yourself, but you can be a catalyst. The movement will continue to go, and it'll have much more staying power than, say, Tea Party, which is still out there. Much of the Tea Party has probably been absorbed into MAGA. But that Make America Great Again it's a great. By the way, whether something's really good when people love it and hate it at the same time. That's if they just go, whatever, you probably got something that's not going to stay around. Marketing will tell you whether it's to the positive or the negative or whatever it is. You have staying power if you have people on both sides of that fence that are arguing over the pro and the con of what you have. MAGA is here and MAGA is staying. How does it stay as influential in the future? Possibly. I certainly think J.D. Vance could ride that in the future. He may not promote it exactly, but I think there'll be those. I think Donald would probably use that as a pack or whatever in the future to continue to endorse candidates. And he likes rallies. I see Donald Trump even after having rallies of some kind where he's going to go around and meet with the people and rally support for candidates and for probably MAGA causes to take the victory lap, if nothing else. I could see that happening. And it's a very powerful force and a very powerful movement. And I think it will continue to be so in the future. So, you have to recognize when something is a wave that's coming in. You have to recognize the big wave, right? You go out to the ocean, you got little waves. There's always that big wave. You got to pay attention to that big wave. And that's a big wave. That is a big wave. And it will continue to be a wave that will affect political candidates and politics in general in the future, no matter what happens this election or not. Sorry, got to have my coffee. So good. And this morning I am drinking it out of my Southern Fried Podcast cup. So it has to taste better, right? And it has also on the end the Mama Said. Now, I'd probably readjust this in the future. We got to go on the side. I think it's supposed to have a third side. It didn't have the third side. I need to go look at that. I like having all three. I might just put the logo on the other side, or I may put Cornbread Nation. That's something we're promoting, and is one of our streams, you might say, of under the umbrella of Southern Fried is Cornbread Nation, and we use that regularly, and you'll see much more about it. In fact, it's on the screen behind me, right? Cornbread Nation is a movement itself. It may be small, but it's a movement, and it's grown. And to be a breadhead, just go to, you kind of are being in here, but go to our Facebook page, Cornbread Nation, and just follow. And we do some updates there that we don't always do everywhere else. But a lot of that's going to tie into Substack and Discord and different things. There's going to be some more political discussion behind the scenes. Not hidden, just that we'll do more. We could talk a little more there about stuff in a much more, I guess, journalistic kind of way, or just comments or whatever, than we do on here. So anyway, let us know what you feel about our guest. I like to have a wide range of guests, a lot of different ideas. Tomorrow night, Front Porch Greg Smith with Backwoods Cryptids. I'm totally excited about it. Am I ever going to go out and hunt for Bigfoot? No, but I do want to talk to somebody who does, and he asked me, what, and all guests do, what do you kind of want me to cover? And every guest that we ever have on the show, one of the things we tell them, in fact, it is the main thing we tell them, is tell your story. We're giving you a platform to tell your story. He has a platform, but we have many streams, and our listeners are not his, and his are not ours, and we'll cross-pollinate, so to speak. But it's always tell your story. And my story, some people may like, hate, love, whatever. Same with him. I tell you, he's a very nice guy, man, hardworking, has a passion for what he does. And I met him through a video that he posted. And I said, you know what? I've got to talk to that guy. If I want to talk to him, if I would like to pick his brain and see what he's about and why he does this and why he believes it. And I'm not here to question his belief in that. It's not the intent of having him on. And no, it's not to poke fun or anything like that. We cut up and go on the program, and sure, we'll do that probably even still. And he's a cut up. He's funny. Uh, he's just somebody, and that's his passion. And I so tell your story. Then I said, I'd like to know a little bit about what it's like for a person to go out and search for Bigfoot. Yeah, right. Right, Cook. Go Bigfoot. Um, what is that like? I mean, one thing you could say about it is whether you ever find Bigfoot or not, you're out in the woods, you're having, I mean, I imagine that's just fun in itself, just being out there away from everything else, civilization, so to speak. Right? Call it a call it a hike that has a purpose. Not that hiking doesn't have a purpose, it does, but it's targeted. I'm going to look for Bigfoot. I'm going to look for other creatures. You're getting out. I can dig that. Um, I would like to know what you know started him down that path. Just like last night, what started you down this path? And you heard him tell his story, and I wanted to hear that because that's his story and it's unique. It's like a Christian, our witness, our testimony. What has God done for you? And what is your relationship to God? That is personal. And there are a lot of similarities in everybody's story. But I can tell you, everybody's story is different. The end result, hopefully, is the same, that we have a relationship. But everybody's testimony is a little different. Why? Because it's their story. And these guests that we have on, it's their story. Now, there is a limit. There's certainly people I wouldn't bring on that would be hateful or, it would have something radical, I would say. Wouldn't want to do that. But I love to meet people and talk to people and find out how do you fit into this cosmic, uh, creation of God. That where do you fit into this, and what is your story? What experiences have you had in your life? What is it like to live where you live? What is it like to be in the city you're in, to do the job you do? What things do you like or dislike? I just find those things interesting. Me and Cook have been friends for, oh my goodness, I guess more than 40 years, Cook, I guess. I mean, certainly, probably closer, I don't know, 45 maybe years. We're not exactly the same, although we have a lot of similarities. There's a big difference between us. You remember this, Cook? We had this disagreement. I'll never forget it. And not an argument, a disagreement. I remember we were watching TV one day and we were watching a story about a judge dressed down a person in front of him. I think it was a guy. And I remember Cook, he just come unglued. And he's like, that guy ain't got no business talking to him like that. He's just there to pronounce, the sentence or whatever. He's up there telling him all this stuff. And I was like, well, he's in trouble. We had this debate about that. And I realized that we were different in our opinion like that. I respect both. I respect his opinion. I respect mine. Robert's fine. This is Thursday. He's off. As far as I know, we talked late last night after the stream for quite a while, actually. Just really trying to talk about, that's our time to talk about where we're at, where we're going, things that need to be done. Sometimes it's just chit chat, but last night was a lot of talk about the chat and just really because at times he was doing things that I didn't see. So we were, I guess, talking shop over chat. And we love the chat, but we cannot let it be out of control. So I talked about that when I first came on, and we're not going to let it be that way. The mornings are never really ever a problem. It's just the evening chat. So we'll get it there. We got a little tougher last night, and you push the button and push the button. That's what's going to happen. But yeah, it's there's great people. Sometimes it's just like I said. It's like the morning zoo. You got to get all the cages cleaned out. You got to get all of the animals fed, and let those folks have fun, but not get out of control. Uh, let's see, Cook, you're saying we are a lot. Let's see, let's put this up on the screen. Cook says we're a lot alike in a lot of ways. Had a lot of great fantasy football battles. We have, and we will, and we will. Thanks, Cook, for posting that. What you did, I hadn't got a chance to watch. I think you actually it was a video. We'll touch base today because the game is on tonight, Thursday Night Football. Appreciate you helping me out with what you're helping me out with about that, and good to see you in here. And yeah, as far as I know, it was fine. Rob had a great day for his birthday. They ran around all day. I guess she took off work, and they just went and had fun, and that's good. In fact, he was just sliding. I didn't know he was going to if he's going to make it. And we were both ready in case something happens. One of us would just get going. And I was fixing to go live right as he came in. I was going to say, well, let's get going. And he slid in. But yeah, we are going to attempt to do like that with a lot of our lives now. Not maybe in the mornings, maybe. We're going to have a guest just as something else to add to those lives. We'll still have a topic, and we didn't get to it last night. And I think a lot of that was because of other things going on. Rob was like, did we talk about it? Well, we didn't talk about a topic, but sometimes we do. I did have a couple things, but Friday night it'll probably just be centered around our guest. And I think he'll probably be with us for a good bit, as long as audio and everything's working good. Really want to just spend some time with him. Front porch is a little more long form, just hanging out. And but yeah, we're going to start doing more of that. It's just a matter of us scheduling and getting people that's willing to come up. Some people are camera shy, That's all good. That's true, Cook. Yeah, we disagreed on stuff, but never bad. Never. Never, never, never. And, there was that time. There was a time me and Cook wasn't around each other a whole lot, which was kind of weird for me. I thought it was kind of weird. I don't know if it was for you. Our paths were just kind of running a different track. And good morning, Michael. Good to see you, brother. Our track was kind of running a little different. And we just was out the same circles, and I was busy doing things. He was busy doing some things. And then I know at some point you just kind of reconnect, and we did that. Well, we never was totally disconnected, just wasn't around each other as much. There was a time Cook was around so much for so many years. My family would just tell you he's a member of the family, and he is. My sisters, basically we all grew up. And my kids, they grew up knowing, and my grandchildren have grown up knowing Cowboy Cook. Thanks for the video too, by the way. I love the voting, and Rob has one. He hasn't loaded it up yet, but I saw it in what is called our library, where it houses our videos, and he did make a video, and those are very popular. By the way, on Cook, I know you're a TikTok star. On our stream when we loaded those up, I loaded them up as companion videos. You have had 673 plays on those videos combined because I put them up together. And the announcement for our guest last night was at 7:07. Those were the two winners of the day of the things we loaded on TikTok. There were 2 or 3 other things we did load. We didn't have a heavy day on TikTok. We did load, I think, 4 or 5 things. And you were the star of the day. But I think people are loving that. I think people, it's kind of like, people, there'll be these things where people will post, and voting is that for this year. Like everybody's wanting to tell you not everybody, but a lot of people tell you their story. I will tell you, though, there's one that I'm seeing that I absolutely can't stand. And it's with Halloween coming. Have you seen this? These people, and it's, I don't want to be mean. Everyone that I've seen has been female. And they're dancing to this Halloween song about witches and their broom. And it's the most annoying, cringy thing I've ever seen. Oh, my gosh. And it's popping up all over the place. Have y'all seen that? Oh man, it's well. I take that back. There was one guy in the video. I think it was a family that did it. So I've seen like family. I've seen individuals, and it's just cringy to me. Maybe I'm getting old. I'm all about having fun. I love to laugh and cut up. I don't know if y'all have seen this. But it's annoying. And you're saying, but you watched it. Well, I did it first because I see the video and I'm like, what is that? I can tell they're singing, so I pull it up and I'm like, oh no, it's the video. Uh, have you seen that, Cook? I don't know. Oh my gosh. Oh man. And now that people have seen others do it, they're copying and they're doing it as well. And it's like, man, that is just, I get it. It's funny and fun, I know, but it's cringy. It's like the song itself is, and they're just lip syncing to the song that's out there and dancing. One girl is in a very, let's just say she's out in public, on a street corner dancing around. The people driving by in their car, they got to be thinking, what in the world is that? She's all over the road, all of it. But I've seen people do it in their homes. Um, a little bit at work. I've seen it's popping up everywhere. Oh, I'll be glad when that Halloween is over. Cook, I don't know if you heard me last night. We are going to have, and I don't per se celebrate Halloween. I don't as a Christian. I'm not into all of that, but I did. We let the kids get candy and they dress up as positive things. So I'm not this mean guy who living in a closet. We just make it. We called it Holy Night years ago when our kids were small. This is 35 years ago, and we. Um, well, wait a minute. You just thought we are getting old. Yeah, you'll have to look around for that video, Cook. But I am going to have a show that night, and that's a Thursday night. We don't normally. Well, I do sometimes. In fact, I hope to record tonight some live. I need to catch up on some politics. I need to catch up on another show, and tonight is hopefully going to be that. Um, and really, I've got about 3 shows I need to do tonight. We'll see, 2 for sure, maybe a third. See how the evening goes because I do have a meeting tonight. But I'm going to have a show that night. And Cook, I already have a mask. I'm going to do the whole show in a mask. I'm not showing it. I'm looking at it right now. I do have somebody brought me, and I said, you know what? That's going to be the mask. I'm going to be that guy. Kind of look like Mr. Wrestler #1, I think. It's a happy face though. It's not a mean. Again, I'm not doing ugly. So I'm gonna see if I can get Rob to come on and do maybe Joe Exotic or something, the whole show or something. And if you get dressed up, you put a mask or something, you're dressed up. Send us pictures or come up live with us. The whole show is going to be about that. It'll be our Halloween party, I guess you would say. So not that we're partying about Halloween, but just get dressed up and having fun. I take it as that. So not to be a spoil sport. I'm not going to celebrate evil or nothing, um, but send us your candy bowl. What does it look like? Come in live while you're handing out candy or something. We'll join in with you, and I'll see if I can get some of the kiddos to get on the screen. We'll do some on the ourselves, and that's the plan anyway. So I really hadn't even talked to Rob about it. I think last night I just took it at him, but yes, yeah, it's not an agenda for me, Mike. It's uh, I I agree. I mean, we took the family and we went and bought candy ourselves, and we took them out to dinner. We took them a movie. We had fun. But I also saw this, Mike, and I will say this. And as a Christian, I want to always be careful not to close myself in a box and live in a bubble where I'm insulated and I can't reach people. And so, probably the first couple of years when I made that decision, we totally went off and did our own thing. Then I thought, wait a minute, man, what are you doing? Um, you got people coming to your house. Why in the world would you not engage that and be a positive, safe, and witnessing voice? So we started putting together, and I got the kids involved, and we put together. candy bags. And instead of just dropping candy in, we made candy bags and we put tracks in them, that's suitable for kids and maybe one for their adult. Not even said give to mom or dad or whatever. But we made sure they had candy. We made it fun. And we, we had just had a lot of fun with that. Um, you know, and the kids loved it. Sometimes the kids would pull it out and they go, "Ah, cool! It's a cartoon." And we had Chick tracts back in the day, which some people hate those, but I love them. And they would be reading them, and some of the kids' friends told them later that they went home and gave them to their parents and stuff. So I said, this is a great witnessing opportunity, and I've seen other people catch on to that. Again, you don't have to celebrate the darkness. I don't do that, but you can have fun, and you got people doing that. Uh, yeah, Mike, find a way to do that. If, I just again, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just saying that. Hold on, my granddaughter's. Why are you asking me that right now? We'll talk about that about the show. 12-year-olds. She gave me the look. 59-year-old. That's right. But I would just say the challenge is to find a way to do it that fits within what we are as Christians without diving into an area we're not comfortable with, but also engaging. We got people coming to us. And I did, the lights were out, we didn't come to the door. And then one day I said, you know what? Wow, why don't we just engage this? And yeah, I know where you're at. Maybe not. I get it. But we do have that. Uh, and let's do something positive and have fun with it and plant the seeds of Jesus Christ. Uh, and it was, we put little pencils. I think we did that one time, had scriptures on them. I found, and hey, are you a fan of candy corn? Some people hate it. I like candy corn. We found candy corn packages that were they had scriptures on them. It was awesome, and you just drop those in. The kids, they're reading that as they're opening up the candy corn. Anyway, I'm sorry. I was really. I know that I kind of felt that. I wasn't involved in everything that was going on. Robert was trying to take care of some stuff. I really was so engaged with the guest. I wasn't paying attention. So I'm sorry that happened. I've said a couple of times this morning. We're trying to handle things and time people out quicker and stuff. We talked about it last night. So if somebody was ugly, we're not going to put up with it. We'll take care of it. Follow or not, you're not going to do that. But my wife, do you like Sundrop? I'm not a fan, but it was what was cold in the cooler. We have a cooler we keep drinks in, and my wife's a fan, and it was. And I like water, and we got cold water too. But this morning I felt like I wanted something a little bit more than water, and I was like, oh, I can drink it, but it's not my favorite. Now, if it was Mountain Dew or not Mountain Dew rather, or Sprite or something like that, but I'm not a huge fan of this Sundrop. Not being critical of a business, but this is the diet Sundrop. So, yeah. Um, oh, I didn't. Yeah. Sorry if whatever was happening. Um, again, I'm sorry. We're not going to put up with that. Our leash has tightened up considerably. We were just really trying to. It's the first time we had a live show with a guest that I can remember, except for like Cook or somebody coming in. We invited somebody in, and I was really handling, for the most part, except for the second part, I was handling the interview, and I wasn't even looking at Chad. So Robert was trying to handle those things. So apologize. We'll take care of it. We'll take care of it. But yeah. So anyway, the show's flying by. I haven't done any commercials or anything. Going to be okay. It's a Thursday blowout. So we'll be on this evening. I'll probably do my Sunday night show, which I didn't get to do. The news desk, probably a sports show. and maybe one other. I'm in a record mode. I'm gonna be live a lot this next next 24 hours or so. So I'm uh, some weeks is rough. You don't feel good, or there's a lot going on. Your schedule's all mixed up, and you're hitting your main targets. But there's other shows, and there's shows that we do, or I do, and I believe in them and want to be there. Nothing else. I love to. Um, yeah, yeah, absolutely. I get it, man. I get it, and we're not gonna. Yeah, we won't put up with that. So people playing games and stuff. You know, but they don't have a right to do that. We're not going to put up with personal attacks. Cutting up's one thing to a degree, but when you start getting really personal, now you're out. And if they go away, they go away. If they follow, they follow. You know, but you got to play by the rules. We hope to. By the way, I don't know if you're Discord users or not. Feel free to go to our Discord channel. I chat. I've just really got started, but this is something you can chat throughout the day. But it is Southern Fried Podcast at Discord. If you have a Discord, I just pulled it up, was looking at it, and I just posted some this morning about Let's Go Live. So go to our Discord channel, and you could talk throughout the day if you wanted to through some of the people that are connected. By the way, we'll tell people out there too if they're not being nice, but you have to download the app, I guess. But Discord, and I'm following Three Ravens. I like to keep up with some of their stuff too, but and then I've got a third one I'm following, just one of our affiliates, because they put stuff up there, advertise images and stuff that I want to have access to. So I followed their Discord. That's the only two other channels beside my own that I'm following. But um, yes, I do, and I know his. We've worked together for many years, and he definitely has. And when we were very first starting together, he wasn't totally out of that, and so that's why we're very close. We were friends, work friends that became family. We'll always be family, and there were tough times because when you're having those kind of issues, there are times where things get a little uh, they can get a little difficult, I'll say. And so when you rolling up the sleeves and you're walking in uh, with someone who's struggling with addiction, some days are not pretty, and you you go through a lot of times of prayer. Sometimes it can make you angry because you're fighting for them too. You want them to fight for themselves, and they are, but sometimes it feels like they're not. And we're like on one side of it, like, come on, man, you can do this. And it's that one step forward, three steps back, and you get a lot of that. And then it might be five steps forward, one step back, and then you're clicking along and everything. And you're like, this is great, and all of a sudden it's no step forward and many steps back. You get it. But he has absolutely, he has really become victorious, and that's exciting. That's exciting. Or yourself, or Cook, or any of us, So, but yeah, it's it's great to know. Um, it's great to you can celebrate in that. I mean, we can be fans of each other to that extent where we celebrate. It's like the cancer patients ringing the bell, to finish the treatment. I don't know for addicts. I don't know that there's ever the bell ringing. Well, maybe you could say daily. I choose today to not, because you always have to realize that that's there. But ring the bell every day. I call it, walking with Jesus every day, picking up the cross every day. As Christians, as we do, we don't neglect that. We realize we're in a battle every day when we roll out into the world. We're in a battle. I'm at home. I'm fixing to roll out in the battlefield. I love where I work. I work with great people, but I'm going out in the world. It's a battlefield, and I've got to be ready for that. I got to guard my heart. I've got to be ready for the ugly attack. I've got to be ready to hear somebody more than speak, and try to listen to their story more. Um, so I love that kind of stuff. But there's some days you just jump and you go, and you're like, I didn't even really get ready for today. I mean, I just didn't. Uh, some days you're really ready, But the Bible talks about putting the armor of God on, the whole armor of God, not pieces, but the whole outfit. And that's right, you can't. You got to have the Lord to beat those things. And um, I mean, everybody knows somebody, right? It might be, even be that person, or it may be, somebody in your family or neighbor or friend. I mean, I know people in prison right now. I mean, because of addiction. I know people that's out of prison. By the way, we got to get John back on. He goes by AJ as well. I'm going to work. I'm going to work on that. Maybe we'll get him to pop into. He works. Maybe it's hard because he works at night, so we have to do something early afternoon. So we may, if not live, we'll record it, but we'll get a little spot where he comes in, and we're going to catch up with him. He's working hard, doing good. Finding his way through life, and that's what you have to do. So, I think all of us have seen somebody in the sad situation of addiction, and it's ugly, and sometimes it just gets uglier and uglier, and sometimes it ends in great tragedy. Uh, and I've known people like that. Uh, Family dysfunction turns into death. I've dealt with that. Murder. I lost my best friend at 21 years old. It was the hardest thing I ever dealt with, honestly. To this day, hardest thing I've ever dealt with. It was so destructive to me. It was the first time. I mean, I had lost family, but like age, never lost anybody like that. And it was just devastating to me, and really still is. I mean, it's not that it ever really goes away. You just learn to deal with it. You live life. You just get moving forward. I've got job to do. I've got a family, and you just have to live life. You can't stay in the past. You can't just sit down and stay at a spot. Time keeps moving. The earth keeps moving. We keep moving. But that was very hard. I mean, 21 years old, and just the most difficult thing I ever dealt with. My oldest son was just a baby, you know. But I thank God that I had family, because I think that helped me. I don't think, I know. It helped me to navigate, uh, and I don't think I would have ever really fallen apart. But I wasn't handling it real well. Not great, but not like, addiction or nothing. Just more inner turmoil, you know, grieving, anger. You go through those 7 stages of grief, as they say. Sometimes you go back through them and back through them. I kind of got stuck in one stage, and it wasn't anger. I wasn't stuck in anger stage. Um, it was really quickly through the anger part. I was angry at the situation, angry at a person, but mine was just, I don't know, feeling of emptiness. It was just really tough. Love you too, man. Yeah, it was just the most ugliest thing ever. And you don't get to say bye. You know, you don't get to say bye. That's the hard part. There's I remember one day, and I'll say this: I'm about I have to be out there in a few minutes. I got to take kids to school and go to work. And I think y'all can say how you feel about this, but if you've experienced this, when somebody dies, at some point you forget how their voice sounded. It's weird. And one day, the day I realized I couldn't remember exactly how he sounded. And we didn't have a lot of video or stuff. It was way before that. We didn't have smartphones. We didn't do a lot of video. In fact, I don't have any video of my best friend. There's some pictures, very limited on that. They're all in my memory banks. And so one day I realized I don't remember what his voice sounded like. It was just devastatingly crushing. And as hard as I tried, I couldn't remember. And I'll never remember exactly. I remember conversations. I remember all the things we did. I can't remember the inflection of his voice anymore. It's just gone. That's hard, really, really hard. Michael says, "I've always been strong for others." Yeah, that's I would describe me as that way. Uh, definitely, definitely. I had family didn't understand the night my dad died, why I wasn't crying, and I said they thought I was, trying to be strong for everybody else, and I said no, it's just the way I cycle it, the way I deal with it, the way I handle it. I said I'll have my moments, they'll come, not tonight. And really, God told me to prepare family. I mean, so I had God had already told me to be strong, to help family, and they thought I was being trying to be strong. Some thought I was being indifferent. Like, did you not love your dad? I was like, don't say that to me. Don't judge me. You don't know how I'm dealing with this. I didn't like that. Um, let's see, what did you say, Cookie? That's what about some. Yeah, we have voices. Yeah, you do. They did great. Thank you for saying that's a great thought, Cook. Um, if anything else, this is an outlet for us to come together and just talk. Again, it's that front porch kind of thing, and that's what we really saw this as being. Um, us getting together from wherever we're at. It helps us stay connected. Love starting your day. You help us start our day. Um, it just gets me going in the mornings. That's why when Rob's not on, that's not that I want to do a show without him. He has to have time off. There's things he's got to do, and I've got to have time off. Um, but I like this, and it's not every day. Like Tuesday, I didn't do a morning show. I thought about it, but was really tired. It wasn't a good day for me to do that. So Tuesday, Thursdays are optional days. So um, because you got to have life, you got to live, you got things to do. Um, so when I can, I pop in, and those shows are a little different because we're not on here together, so they flow just a little different. So I try not even. I call it like this is Thursday, Dave and the AM Thursday talk. I don't, it does say because I didn't have time to reset my banner. It does say morning show, but I try to even name it different because to me it's a different show, totally different. Let's see, we got taters, maters, critters, and cornbread fritters. I love it. I love it. Uh, I haven't talked to Rob about it. Well, I did. Rob was kind of against it, but I want to revisit it. I think because we are promoting Cornbread Nation, I think we're to have a Cornbread Nation show. Rob said, no, it's not a show, it's a movement. I'm like, can it be both? And so it's really coming back across my mind this week. And I'm really thinking about popping in. I think I'll surprise him. Don't say nothing. I don't know if you'll watch this. I think about having a Cornbread Nation show. I'm trying to think of what that would look like. What would the Cornbread Nation show be about? It's going to be totally different than anything else. Although we're still on here, we're still talking. What's the Cornbread Nation? So, uh, yeah, that is Cornbread Nation. That's right. That could be the tagline for the show: taters, maters, critters, and cornbread fritters. We'll put that on the scroll or in the background or something. Totally different background. I see a big CN there, Cornbread Nation. I'm trying to think of what it to look like. Bag and make cornbread granny. Oh, I love it. Yeah, I think so. I'm going to do it and then just ask forgiveness later. Like, well, I think it's pretty good. Sometimes you have to warm your partners up to show. You're like, Robert didn't want to do the morning show. And I goes, man, I don't like mornings. I don't want to get up. Now he looks forward to it. I'm like, come on, man. I'm going to do it. One show. Just give me one show. He said, okay, Tuesday. If we had, no, it was Tuesday. I think it was Wednesday. Let's do a Wednesday morning show. And we did a morning show. And he said, no, that was pretty good. He said, we might have to do a second show. So we decided on Monday. We'll do a Monday and Wednesday. And then before you know it, it was like, well, why don't we do Monday, Wednesday, Friday? He made that decision. But I said, come on, man, you got to do a morning show. He said, man, but he likes it. He likes it. So that's true. Yes. So I'm telling you right now, I've revealed my plan. I'm going to do it. And I've got y'all can instigate me and say, do it. And I'm not going to tell him. I'm just going to do it. Do it. All right, it's 7:00. I do need to get out of here. Things to do, work to do, kids to go to school. We'll see you this evening sometime. if you're available, pop in. We're going to talk politics. We're going to talk sports for sure tonight. Might have to be late night. Hey, have a great day. God bless. We'll see you soon.
Well, once again, it's time, my friends, for another meet and greet. We're Southern Fried and nationwide, so hang on to your seat. Look around, here's what I found. I guess you'll never know what you'll see on the Southern Fried Podcast Show.